Hey guys, this is North back again with another video. Today's video, I'm going to finally give you my top 10 incense-based fragrances. This is a very hard list to come up with, so I hope you enjoy it. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So before we get started, when we talk about incense in perfumery, it's usually talking about frankincense, or you can see it written as Olibanum, and in Arabic it's called al-luban. So this is what we're talking about when we talk about incense-based fragrances. Now, most of them don't necessarily smell like frankincense in itself, but it does have that as a main player in it, or it could refer to a smoky note, and not a smoke note, that's different, but a smoky note, something that gives you a little bit of smokiness to it. So let's get it going. Number 10 I have on my list is from the house of Diptyque, and this is called Trois. This one is the oldest fragrance on the list. This one was released in 1975. Now, I picked this up on the suggestion of a perfumer who said that this is the most photorealistic version of a fragrance that smells exactly like unburnt frankincense. And he was exactly right. This one has notes of myrrh, pine tree, rosemary, and olibanum, or frankincense. So I'll use either one of those terms. This is what this has in it. And when you smell it, it does smell exactly like unburnt frankincense. It's uncanny. It really intrigues me when perfumers are able to encapsulate a certain smell into a bottle. And I think that that's awesome. So this is, I guess you would call it my 10th favorite or my least favorite out of the top 10 on the list. So Diptyque Trois. Coming in at number 9, I have from the house of Libre d'Orange, and this is RIEN Intense. RIEN Intense. I forgot to get the release date on this one, so I just don't want to make up one on the spot. But this one has incense, leather, labdanum, and black pepper. Now this one right here, this is a nuclear. It's more than beast mode. This is a nuclear incense-based fragrance. Did not go more than like 3 sprays on this. This one is the intense version of RIEN. So if you were to pick up RIEN, you will get the same exact smell. It would just be less intense, obviously. So this one comes in at my number 9, Libre d'Orange, RIEN Intense Incense. Coming in at number 8 on the list is one that I thought was actually going to be at the top of my list because it was at the top of a number of another YouTuber's list of incense-based fragrances. So I was just clamoring, just trying to get this in my collection, and it finally came to the country where I live. So I just blind bought it. They didn't even have a tester of it, and that is from the house of Jovoy, and that is the Liturgie, their Heures. This one was released in 2011, and this one has notes of cypress, incense, myrrh, and musk. This one does have the greenness to it, and when you have these fragrances that have like cypress and incense in it, it does give you that feel of not only frankincense, but this churchy incense type of feel. But to me, this just wasn't I guess what I got from it. It just wasn't something that just blew me away. It is an awesome fragrance. What's great about Jovoy is that they have good quality fragrances that do last a long time, and they don't break the bank. This is something that you can buy retail. You don't even really have to like search for deals because they're not extremely expensive. So that's really awesome about their fragrances. And that's going to be my number 8, the Liturgie, their Heures. Number 7 on my list is from the house of Masque Milano, and this one is called Mandala. This particular one was released in 2017. This is another one that it opens up and it smells like I've mentioned this before in my previous video, is that when I asked for a fragrance that smells like in Arabic al-luban or olibanum or frankincense, he put me in the direction of this, and this opens up with this. So this is a frankincense that's more like effervescent, and Mandala has olibanum, Angelica, incense, myrrh, and cloves in it. So this is an awesome fragrance as well. This is a 30 ml bottle. So coming in number 7, Masque Milano, Mandala. Now Now we're breaking into the top 5. So it was hard to just pick 10 because I have more than 10. If you see my previous video, I had 15, but I could have had 20 or 25 because this is my favorite genre of fragrances. So here we go with number 5 on my list. It's one of my most recent acquisitions. This is Full Incense by Montale. Now this one was released in 2010. This one says it has some Somalia incense, elemi, labdanum, and cedar. Now I'm just giving you highlights of notes of the things that I get from it, not the full note breakdown. So you're more than free to check on Fragrantica and see what other notes it has to break it down. Now this one, I remember this was on a lot of lists of incense-based fragrances. I remember Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, may he rest in peace. He had this on his list. So I first heard about this one with him. I wasn't able to pick that up here. You're able to get Montale really easily here, but I had to order this from the States. And I finally got it in, and I was very impressed by the churchy incense-ness of it. It really gives you that feel. I don't have Avignon on my list because that's sort of like a given, and this reminds me of that, but this one seems to have a little bit more projection, a little bit more of a longevity to it, so I replaced that one on the list with this one. And so number 5 on my list again is Full Incense from Montale. All right, coming in at number 4 on the list is Royal Incense from Omanluxury. So this one was released in 2020, so it just came out last year. This one has notes of pink pepper, incense, honey, leather, and cedar. Now this does have a sweetness to it from the honey, and all of these, like I say, have this sort of either like frankincense or churchy incense type of feel to it, and this one is nonetheless one of them as well. So this is a great incense-based fragrance. Coming in at number 4, this is Omanluxury Royal Incense. All right, coming down to the top 3. Number 3 on my list is from the house of Rochester Parfum, and this is Incense Asakusa. This one was released in 2017, and this one has notes of incense, pink berries, iris, myrrh, and white musk. And this one has that churchy incense type of feel, but then it has that iris in it, which makes it powdery. And this is just a beautiful fragrance. I really love this fragrance. This is an undeniable top 5 in my collection. Here I have it placed at 3. I think this will stay somewhere around there. This is a definite, if you're into incense-based fragrances and say you even like iris. It doesn't smell like Dior Homme, but if you're into iris and that mixed with the incense, this is a beautiful one, definitely to get your nose on and sample it. So number 3, Rochester Parfum, and this is Incense Asakusa. Right, top 2. Number 2 on my list is from the private line of Tom Ford, and this is Vert d'Encens. Now, I didn't want to do it to you guys. I wanted to have a representative, one from each house. I didn't want to have more than one from a house on my list. So this is the one I chose from Tom Ford. I don't even know if I have another one, but this is definitely number 2. I love this. This is a sweet incense-based fragrance. The notes on this one are smoky incense, pine resin, and fir balsam. What's the difference between resins and balsam? Resins come from trees, balsams come from plants as far as the sap that you get from it. So this one definitely is a number 2. This is beautiful, just like Incense Asakusa. This is one I have to keep in my collection. Unfortunately, I didn't try to do it to you guys, but this one is a discontinued fragrance. This is one that I found online, which is, I did not buy it online, but I researched online before doing this video. It is still available. It still can be purchased in not exorbitant prices. So it's something that you can still pick up, but it is not in production anymore. So number 2, Vert d'Encens by Tom Ford Private Blend. And number 1 on my list. Now, this is from the Armani Privé line. I have 3 fragrances that are incense-based fragrances from the line. So I tested all 3 of them to see which one was going to be number 1. It's between those 3, and I'm going to have to go with this one. And this is Sable Nuit or Sable Nuit. This is a 2021 release. This just was released this year and is #1 on my list. This one, I believe, is an awesome fragrance. I believe in, so you have satin, incense satin from Armani Privé, and you have Bols d'Encens. Those predated this one. I believe this one took the best of both of those and put them into one fragrance. So this one has Olibanum, benzoin, Labdanum, vanilla, and ambroxan. Those are some of the main notes on it. And like I said, that's the best description that it has. It takes the incense satin and it takes Bols d'Encens, and I believe it brings just the best of both of them out of it. This is my scent of the evening. So I put this on before I sat down to make this video, and even my wife mentioned, "You smell really good." And I mentioned that this is one of my top 2 on there. She said this one has to be #1. And so to me, this is the best one out of the 10 in the list to me. This was something that I wasn't going to pick up just based on the name alone. It doesn't have incense or anything in the name. It doesn't even, my English brain, it doesn't give me any indication that it's going to be an incense-based fragrance. So I'm glad I sampled it. I looked at the note breakdown and I was just sold from there. Only thing about this one, obviously it just came out this year, so it's not discontinued, but it seems to be very difficult to find. I wish you the best of luck trying to find it. This is definitely one you got to get your nose on if you're into incense-based fragrances. If you like Bols d'Encens, especially if you like incense satin, you definitely have to try this one. So this is my #1 on the list. I do thank you guys for tuning in. This is my top 10 incense-based fragrances of 2021. Again, I chose one from each house. I did not put more than one on the house. I tried to make it fair, and I tried to give you guys options to choose from. Any of these are worth checking out. I personally like list videos because it gives me more options to choose from, especially in a particular genre. And right now, incense-based fragrances along with resins and balsam-based fragrances are my favorites right now. So this is something that I really am into, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. What are some of your top 10 or top 5 incense-based fragrances in your collection? Have you tried any of these that I mentioned? Are there any of them that you don't agree with, that you hate? Which ones do you love? Please let me know in the comments. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.